きだから僕は死にません。
あれれら OBS が固まって落ちたな。そのまま総理でございます。30分後だから3時からか。なげえな3時から見ましょう。3時から。いや、結構やっぱ窓は、ウィンドウが多かったよな。で、謎のマイクの不調。今日結構やってんな。みんなやっぱ週末頑張ってんだな、エイペックス。ピンピンピンピン。
正しい選択。
チェンチェンチェンピッピッピン。
あんたたち安全第一だよ。そしたら思いっきり暴れてやりな。
暑い日には鋼鉄の冷たさがたまらない。
今回のチャンピオンを紹介します。
これを近くで見たくはないだろう。肉塊。
誰かが飛ばされないようにね。着地した。選択を誤ったのね。
撃たれてる。
キーは
敵のシールドを割った。リロード中。ここに敵がいる。
悪い武器がねえんだ。
撃たれてる。標的をダウンさせた。やられた。
マジで武器がねえ。そう。パンチで行くしかねえな。
よし、リングの中で。
締められた。
ちょっと鈍いようだね。すべてをつけに行きましょ
疾風が勝利を呼び込んでくれる。
う。冒険に出る準備はいいかい、ニュート。今 界のチャンピオンです。
私に見つかったらそこでおしまいよ。
私がジャンプマスター。道を切り開くのは任せて。決めましょう。着地はここに。行くわよ。準備して。
ファーストキルだ。宇宙の謎を解くためには多少の犠牲は避けられないね。
ラウンド1。カウントダウンが始動。
次のリングまではちょっと歩くことになるね。そろそろ行こうか。
よし。
新しいキルリーダーが確定しました。新しいキルリーダーね。気をつけて。あと1分でリングが動くわ。まだ距離がある。あそこを攻撃するわよ。私を信じて。
ああ、ありがとね。
リングは遠い。時間がない。
これで気分も上がるだろ。
エリアをスキャン中。
引き金を引くよ。敵に撃たれてる。アークスターシールドをリサーチ中。
シールドを割ってやった。リロード中。
回復する。
シールドを割ってやった。敵がダウン。フェニックスキットを使ってる。
シールドを割ったぞ。敵を仕留めた。周囲環境を回して
ナイス。
残り部隊は半分。シールドをリチャージ中。
おお、キルリーダーを抹消したね。私らの会心スコープを発見。中距離用だ。
治療中だ。
ライトって強いんだろう。
シールドをリチャージしないと。
ケアパッケージ交換。
シールドを発見。レベル2だ。
みんなあっちへ行ってみましょう。ここにアイテムがあるか確認する。向こうへ行きましょう。
ええ。おや、脱出タワーを持ってるよ。
ビジャンが下手になってるな。ほんと下手だったけど。
報告。
脱出タワーを持ってるよ。
警戒を。新しいキルリーダーよ。
タワーを展開するよ。
誰かがここを通ったようだ。ここを注視する。主神が眼力を与えたもう。戦闘中。敵発見。
敵のシールドを割ったよ。
敵がダウン。
リロード中。シールドをリチャージ中。
リロード中だ。
画面置いた。
シールドを割ったわ。シールドをリチャージ中。
シールドバッテリーを発見。ちょっと元気を注入してるよ。
今バトルパス
今ね86ぐらい。
回復中。でも警戒はしてる。
シールドをリチャージ中。
みんな救急作ってんのかなこれ。
こっちに悪ガキがいるかもしれない。
やっぱ弱いよね。カーが弱い。カーでいいじゃんって思ったんだけど。
作ってる人多いね。
で301も弱いでしょ。
あちらの方向に敵がいるはずだ。
チャンピオンが倒れた。
ダメだ。マジでねモダンメタ
モダン
かもしれない。
でいい？
まあウィングマン使うけど、そっちか。モダンでもいいと思う。なんかあんまりもいい使って今弱えなと思ったわ。
敵の位置を発見した。マップを見よ。
みんなあっちへ行ってみましょう。
けどほんとすぐ終わるよこれ。あと1試合ぐらいだよ。
久々に参加したい。
ちょっと待ってね。マジで試合あと40分に40分じゃねえな。ちょっと待って。
マジか。
うん。
わら。
次の試合までのあれだから。
新しいキルリーダー攻撃中。敵がダウン。攻撃を受けてる。敵のシールドを割ってやった。
これで気分も上がるだろ。アークスターを投げる。アークスターを投げるよ。
眼力を恵みたまえ。
敵を倒した。フーリアンが
まだアルグスやってるんだ。
そう最後の6試合45。うまい。
敵のシールドを発見した。リロード中だ。グレネードだ。
敵を発見。
リロード中だ。浮かびたい人はいるかい？
うまいねこの人。
部隊を丸ごと抹消したよ。残る部隊はあと一つ。これはいい数字だ。
あっちだ。
ライトアームが欲しいね。
ライトアンモを発見。
よし、うまく使ってみせるよ。どうも。
どうだ。
あっちにケアパッケージだ。今回のリングはご近所さんだ。
動きが速いこ
1
のゲーム。
分もあれば
本当に
十分だ。ライトアームを発見。
残り1分を切った。リング
ライトアームを
まであと少し。
発見。あっちにジャンプタワーだ。上に登れればどんなものだっていいね。これで頂点まで登り詰めようじゃないか、ニュート。
残り30秒を切った。リングは近い。ここを攻撃する。今のは忘れて。
どこだ敵。だりーな。やっぱカジュアルはカジュアルだな。こっち来け。
あちらの方向に敵がいるはずだ。
すでにリング内よ。
向こうで怪 しい音がするよ。
トンネルを通るのよ。
お、待て待て。来るかな。
こっちにちょっと散歩しないか。
あれ2部隊どこ撃ってた。
シールドをリチャージする。
悪い子がそこにいる。
うわマジか。敵の強調表示分からなかった今。
エイペックスのチャンピオンが誕生しました。すっきりとした後味。一番売れてる美味しさ。
あと何分ぐらいだ。
ネスカフェエクセラ。
あと12分だわ。
Alright, so Alliance is on Fuse Maggie Vantage.
1試合分もねえわ、12日。
Vantage is crazy. I will say that there is no more useful character than
87。いいね。
Who the hell is LNW? What is going on? Exaco now going down to go next to, and
あと
LNW.
1回生き残るリンクし。
Miscom?
Oh.
Miscom for sure.
スナイパーライフルね。
Because I don't think they were ratting it. He was literally running around.
I feel like he's probably swerved too late or didn't make it with his team. And LNW
スナイパーライフル、ウィングマンも含まれてんのかな。
That's good.
アンモだけかあれは。
Not bad for NRG.
扱いは。
Probably really happy about that. GN's not going to be fighting over in Geyser side versus EIQ. EIQ is now in 6th place after that win, so we'll see how this goes for them.
We have two EMEA teams going at it as Doctors is gonna go down.
Yeah, this is not good, man. I don't like this spot either. It's really hard to fight being on the outside of
Here
the
comes the
alley.
swing as Bambino takes a lot of damage and he does not have his Q. Huge Q there from Slav to delay the push, but it's inevitable. They're gonna have to fight.
Slap, a good delay.
It's a 2v2 because the Tropic does have one kill.
Boston, Seer alive.
Orphan trying to hold up, but it's not going to be enough as Bambino swings now. Hierarchy going to go down in the Tropic. Going
今回のチャンピオンを紹介します。
あと10分。
戦いが始まる。
and here comes
神々のご加護
Naked to third.
Yeah, Naked's gonna come for the third. I want to see if they get landed on those. DZ about to get landed on the solo of DZ.
私に近づきたいなら
by Ranches and Aurora. Oh my goodness, they're hunting them down.
Still bopping. I can see, like, his head is bopping with the beat of the shot.
As Naked. Did talk that
That's
shit.
actually crazy.
Made a game body shit right there.
He actually was going like this to the leader.
It's actually something we haven't seen in pretty much nothing ever.
And NRG crosses over from Island. They want to get the fifth here.
武器よこせ。
Goes down.
ちいちゃ頑張れ。いやーどんまい。
ほら勝ちな。あんたはまだまだ。
生存時間短い俺。
Jim or the other platform.
Right here, probably.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be right on that one. That's really, really bad for the majority of teams. So energy guesses that zone wrong again, but you can't even guess that right. You kind of just have to play it. If it happens, happens. Do you think they get one successful remote game? I don't think so.
I mean, that's what I really want to see.
I do too, but Revenant and Octane are so bad. What is this? Some snipes.
あ、次のランクはね楽しければいいんだけど、
She's pretty fun in ranked. Using the sniper in ranked is actually
変えるとは言ったけどさ、なんか
the best part about
そ
her
ん
is
ないきなり良くなりそうだね。なんかまた厳しくなりすぎてモチベが下がるような気もするし、
That's pretty sick.
yeah, I do like that. It's a
これ以上緩くなることは絶対ないだろうけど。
I just want them to rip an Octane pad so bad.
I do too. I wonder if they're gonna actually do it. They're gonna do it at least once. Is it gonna be a good one? I have no fucking idea. But I would like to see that happen. They're taking an evac tower onto Yuki. There's gonna be energy.
変なところで極端な調整入りそう。
そう
笑。
思うよ。そんな気がするわ。
Super aggressive. Good shots out from Yuki. He's gonna go down. And Alliance.
結局マッ
Yeah, it's
チ
gonna be
の
fine.
レートのマッチシステム自体がさ、じゃあずっと同じで敵と戦っててそれ本当にランクと言えるのっていう話だし、
Another one in their back pocket. Killed. So they're gonna be fine. They're gonna take that. Yeah, and kill energy going down to kill.
よくよく考えるともう本当にひどいシステムだよね。
And Shady gets knocked
マイナ
out.
スはずっと一緒で同じ敵とずっと永遠に戦うんだから、それ上がってくよな。
今回のチャンピオンです。
Along
永遠に上がり続けるよ。
right there too. So once you step in this area, I feel like King
スマーフ対策なのかな。
対策、
私が倒れるのは神々が望みと思うた時だけ。君が人間なら
スピードよ。
down, we're going outside LG in the backside.
チーターもそうか。チーター対策にも確かに理にかなってたよね。チーターは減ったもん。バカらしくてみんなやめたもん。おかげいちゃった。業者が減ったよな。
Trying to stay alive. Yanni was 1 HP with full armor.
注意環境をマーク中。
Maggie ball coming out, baby. The Beyblade, red and rip. Furia is now dying.
あ、武器が。あ、武器取られてる。
チーター今もいるよ。
あ、今いるんだ。マジか。
ダメージを受けている。
でもまあ、あれじゃない。グリッチは減ったんじゃない。グリッチもいるんだ。
Trying to wipe Furia.
早っ。
グリッチ増えた気がする。
マジか。
It's gonna be a 2v2 here for LG.
弾がね。
無敵かライデント。
やべ。無敵トライデントなんて。師匠。
Aurora taking out LG, getting 3 more KT, baby. And I'm gonna tune over to E6. Something's gotta come out of his ulti. I feel it in my fucking bones. Like, well,
やったぞ。リーダーを倒した。
doing that again. Case when he's gotta pop his ulti out. We gotta get out.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really have much to work with. They just gotta pick lucky. That's what it comes to.
They have to send in the next episode. Set the heal. They all got the red totem. Like, it's gonna be good. Triple gold armor is actually insane. Triple gold.
まだ始める。
He's actually trying to just
あと3分か。やめるか。よし。
NRG is
87。ガチャだけ。お茶でも入れてくっかね。試合を移して。よし。で、俺を、ちくしょ。俺だよ。わしを横にずらすと。俺を横にずらす。完璧。よし、ちょっと離席します。し。
Welcome back, everybody, to the ALGS Split 2 playoffs. We are live from the Copper Box Arena, and we're back to finalize our group stage action after one of the craziest final circle mobile reses I've ever seen out of NRG in our last series. This will be our team's last opportunity to climb their way into that winner's bracket or find themselves in that elimination bracket. And we know that every single squad will be fighting tooth and nail to ensure their spot at the top of our pack. Only 20 teams can be up there. We're about to find out who they will be. My name is Glitter Explosion, joined by Gaskin and Onset, ready to dive into this last series. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I'm not being invaded by a microphone now. I've got one that's more my size, so I feel a lot more comfortable. I'm ready. I want to see what's going to happen with these group stages. You know, I like numbers. I've been looking at whereabouts are we going to be. Is it going to be 90? Is it going to be 95? Is it going to be 100? I guess we can only find out one way, and it's about getting the games going.
Mark, what about about you?
I'm happy for Dan. I'm just happy for you. I know it's causing you a lot of trouble, but I mean, Dan's completely right. This is the end of the group stages. This is where we find out how bracket play is going to look for these teams tomorrow, and this is where you really start to see the test of teams' mettle, right? Because they know what they have to achieve. You've got that magical number in the back of your head, and you're thinking, is that 1 win? Is that 5 good average game? You're trying to kind of accommodate your play style as to how you think you have to situate yourself in these groups. And I think it's going to be a very fun set of games to close things out, and a lot of pressure on these teams too.
All right, well, you guys keep talking about that magic number. What will it have to be that these teams need to hit in order to get themselves into that winner's bracket? Let's take a look at the standings, see where we are at.
Standings are always a good way to start. So I think I'm going for round 94, where Pioneers are at 14. Maybe Realize could just sneak in at 92. I was speaking to a couple of guys on Twitter. Realize had 3 victories, right? And they might not even make the winner's bracket, but that's because they were underperforming in World's Edge. But I'm expecting 94 to be the target for everyone here. So any of the squads who just played who are outside of the top 20, they're going to be guaranteed the elimination bracket. But are we going to see any of these teams just be able to push themselves in, Mark? Because there is a big opportunity for a couple of squads just to scrape through. Yeah, there certainly are indeed. There's a lot of teams that are kind of on that bubble that listening to you, basically, and that's the reason that I was pointing at you, going, he's the man who's worked this out. He's trying to work out the number, where you're going to be safe, and what is that target. And you can see there's a lot of teams still involved in that conversation. I mean, one surprise to me, I have to say, Exet have got to have a pretty good set here, and they have to put those points on the board, but we've seen how good they are. We know that they've got the capability to do it. Elimination bracket run wouldn't be something that would be the end of the world for them, but I think with the expectations on their shoulders coming into this event, they need to make that winner's bracket.
Well, you guys started calling out some of the squads we're going to be keeping our eyes on here in this last series of matches. Let's start talking about those two groups. This last series will be between B and C. Who's jumping out at you?
Well, you've got the big hitters, you've got the likes of Ascend in there, they've been playing amazing. TSM, of course, are already going to be qualified as well. Then you've got those who are going to have to perform. Mark's already mentioned the likes of Exet, you've got Northeption who still need to go big. Vex, I want to see what they can do. Dreamfire still a job to do. Complexity still a job to do. There's a lot of question marks around Group B and C here, but there is always going to be a chance to rise to the top when you get different drop spots, you get 2 groups going up against each other, and that means we might see a team that hasn't shined yet finally get their chance to do so. I'm looking at Optic. Optic have been a little bit, let's say quiet, a little bit quiet, being a little bit polite as well. 38th position at the moment, 41 points on the board, and it seems like a long way away, that magic number, but Optic have shown previously that all of a sudden they can go on these hot streaks, but there hasn't been too many signs so far that one of those streaks is approaching, so we're going to have to look to drop Nox and Skittle.
Continue to narrow this discussion down here just a little bit and talk about our teams to watch. Mark, you picked Complexity here. Let's start with your choice.
Hey, I love a bubble team, right? I love a team who has something to prove, who has the opportunity to go one further and push themselves into the winner's bracket. You know, everybody knows about Mon. You know, his 2 teammates have been fantastic alongside him as well in Cody and Ludo, and I think this is where they stand at the moment, just to paint the picture. They're in 27th place, not space. 59 points on the board, so a very achievable thing for them to do to hit that magical 90 or so points, 94 points that Dan is talking about. Monsoon, he's got a tissue up his nose, which is the universal sign for I'm ready to get these points. And I think that they are a team, certainly, that can prove to everybody here that they're not just a team who qualified late, they're not just a team who's happy to be here, but they want to go on and be one of the biggest contenders that we have. And I'm just really impressed with what Complexity have been able to do in some of the games, but that's the big thing, it's been some of them, right? They can be consistent, but as we move on, and I can talk about maybe one of the squads I wanted to look at, Lauren, is going to be Northeption. Now,
していましたが、このパルプレックスも後半のグループでやってきている。そして
そっちパーティー誰が人気？解散ちいちゃん。
Victories come through, they like to play edge, they like to play slow, they will rotate in after the zone's already closed, but maybe these might be the groups that really give them the opportunity to show what they're made of and get some big kill games.
All right, I'm feeling both those choices for me. I had to talk a little bit about Fnatic here. Now heading into this event, they were the only APAC North team that had already qualified for ALGS champ. And now, after this event, that entire region as a whole has really been popping off. Coming into the start, 78 points, and if we're going off of your number, that is a very achievable gap for them to close, considering all of the games they have in this series. And if their last performance was, even though their last performance was a little bit slow, their first one was a lot stronger. And this is a team that has the capability to give us the type of performance that we're looking for in order to get them into that winner's bracket. But the reason, or one of the reasons that they have some of these incredibly strong performances is, of course, their incredible IGL, Yuka. And we actually had a chance to sit down with him before this event, thanks to Nice Wig and Greek, and chat with him a little bit about himself and his expectations for the team.
What's up, guys? Nice Wig here, along with Greek, and we're going to be interviewing
DF は出んのか。CM が入ったんよ。
ですかって聞いてもらってもいいですか
For sure, totally.
セリ
Selly.
セリ
Selly.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a good
Selly.
answer. I like that answer. That's a good one.
セリナンバーワンセリ
Number one. So good. So good.
セリがナンバーワン。
So, APAC North was one of the most feared regions at the start of the game. Do you still think that APAC North is the most dominant region?
No.
No?
上のチームが抜きん出て上の日本チームが少しだけ抜きん出てて韓国勢はずっと強いみたいな感じでなんか一部だけが強いリージョンになっちゃってる感じはしますね。
We wanted to ask you about Umichan Levichi. Was there a prior friendship before he joined the team? And what role does he take on now on the team?
もうベストフレンド。
Best friend?
Best friend. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's so cool. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
海ちゃんの役割はまあそのファイトしてる時の火力と声出しがまあ一番でかいかなって感じですね。
こっち少ないって感じで。
In the regional finals, you guys won in just 4 games. We wanted to know, how did that feel and what were you guys doing very well that day that helped you win that fast?
Lucky.
Lucky?
No, not lucky. Never lucky.
He's so humble, man.
Yeah, he's too humble.
No lucky.
You're too good to be
No
lucky.
でもなんだろうな、まあ、運も一つだし運が良かった噛み合いが良かったとかですかね。うん。いやその試合のっていうかだからもう本当運が良かったっていうか。
You guys have been, Fnatic specifically has been in finals lobbies throughout pretty much every LAN and everything. For this event, when you make it to finals, is there anything different you're going to do this time around?
いやもうなんだろうな、まあいつも通りの力が発揮できればいけると思ってるので、まあ本当何も考えずにいつも通りを出せればなって思ってます。
Is there any Apex pro players / streamers that you watch pretty often that you just enjoy being in their streams and being in their community?
インペリアルハル。
Imperial, of course, yeah, okay.
Other than Fnatic, what team can you see being the champions here at this LAN?
TSM、ダークゼロ、エクセット、アライアンス。
I like those picks. Good answer. So we wanted to know, is the B stream your favorite watch party?
B ストリームがあなたの一番好きですか？Yes, yes, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Thank
I love you.
Oh, okay, thanks for that. That would have hurt if you didn't even know who we were, man. Holy that would have hurt.
Oh,
okay.
For a second there, I was like,
oh, wait a minute. He doesn't even know the B stream. It's crazy. Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and talking with me and Greek, but more importantly, Yuka from Fnatic, the incredible player himself. Stay tuned. Watch some more ALGS. We've got a lot coming through. More coverage on the way.
We are just getting to know our players more and more this event, and he called out
Yeah,
some
and
heavy hitters as squads that he thinks could take this whole thing home.
Yeah, and a lot of the teams that have been performing as well. I'm not really surprised. It's some of the giants from other regions. Very humble, though, of course, throughout that interview. In to do all the damage, and then I clean up all the pieces and get all the praise.
Amazing interview though, and I think it's really good, like you say, Lauren, that we're showing a light on as many pro players as we can because they all have great stories. You can see what the chemistry is like between different teams. And shout out to Fnatic, shout out to Yuka. Again, just puts a smile on my face, and I'm sure a lot of fans at home as well.
Yeah, that was an absolutely lovely piece of content. So shout out to everyone who's putting those together. It's time for us to talk about what everyone at home can get for themselves, okay? You want to be a best friend? Maybe help your friend get some cool stuff for Apex Legends? Well, don't forget we have our Twitch drops that are active all 4 days of the Split 2 playoffs. Right now, you have a chance to get all of these drops if you do miss those individual days when you're watching finals in one big bundle, but all you have to do is watch for 60 minutes each day to claim these skins. You can get the R99 skin Charboiled, the Wraith skin Fiery Fractals, the Hollow Spray Ratting, and the Gun Charm Predator, as long as you're hanging out with us in the stream, watching all of our ALGS Split 2 playoffs action. So make sure that you get your hands on those. But that's all we've got down here on the desk. It's time to send it back on up to Tiff and Gino.
Thank you so much, Glitter, Onset, Gaskin. You guys absolutely killed it. But first off, I just want to talk about that ice-cold interview that I just witnessed from Yuka. That open was beautifully sick.
Oh, yeah, the editing was awesome on that. Ice cold, what do you mean? He was talking about the power of friendship.
There was a lot of power of friendship, and that's a nice Naruto arc that I really enjoy watching as well. It's all about the power of friendship in anime and here on the stage.
So cool when you can have that that energy in the team as well. I think like it genuinely does help your mental. When you're having a bad time, right, you can at least rely on each other. You don't have that, like, you know, that resentment seeping through like you do see sometimes in esports. So definitely one of the reasons why Fnatic just keeps making it to the finals, just keeps running far in these LAN tournaments, and they're the stalwart of APAC North.
I thought it was really interesting how he kept mentioning luck and lucky, and when we play a battle royale on the stage with 20 other teams, a certain luck factor, but when you think of luck, it's you're doing the hard work, and it's when opportunity meets that right moment. It's not necessarily just luck.
I think that's like classic APAC North humility. You know, that's a cultural thing. No, for sure. It's not luck. These guys are absolutely bona fide killers, and they put it out there time and time again. And look, with their position at the moment, 78 points. You know, obviously we're going to be talking a lot this series, Tiff, about how these guys, you know, are going to make it into that winner's bracket, because that's what they're all looking to do.
Exactly. I know Onset on the desk earlier, he was like, some of the teams that have really secured themselves a position in the winner's bracket, but a lot of these teams have already sealed their ticket to the elimination bracket. So for the teams that are on the bubble, the cusp, that need to perform, now is your last chance to get one step closer to Championship Sunday.
Definitely some that are closer than others, obviously, with a game left to play. You know, FC Destroy, who knows, maybe they're already in, maybe they just need to grab a few KP to get up there. Teams like Ascend have got a little bit more work to do. And then when you go down to favorites like Exit, they actually need to have quite a big series here, Tiff, to make it across that point threshold and be in the running to, you know, maybe even grab some seeding points going into Sunday.
That is going to be the biggest compliment to that Sunday finals day. But let's talk about some of those teams. We talked about complexity on the desk, but North Epshing currently coming into this series with 50 points overall. Now, if you remember back in Split 1 playoffs, they were second in the group stages, but couldn't put it together in the bracket to make the finals. Now, things are going to be a little different here because there's a lot more on the line. They've obviously changed up their play style. They're playing that hardcore edge, and they've been getting caught up in groups on edge fighting with other heavy-hitting teams like Fire Beavers.
Yeah, there's definitely some scary teams out there in the sort of outer reaches of World's Edge or Storm Point, depending on where they find themselves. We, of course, will be starting off with Storm Point this time. Okay, we've got our spirit Pokemon here that we're coming out with. Bellsprout, Geodude, and Snorlax. And, oh, man. I love the Peter picture that's coming with that one.
Maybe we can get a Poke Flute and wake him up real quick.
Huh?
Hey. No, but for real, I do love the Pokemon. Gino, if you were a Pokemon, what would you be?
俺今日ド
Trying
ラ
to
フ
think
ト
if
会
there's
議
one
だ
on
っ
my
た。
jumper somewhere that I should go here with. Pincer?
Okay, okay.
Who's my favorite? I don't know.
I mean, you know, that's an interesting pick. I wouldn't have picked Pinsir. I mean, I'm going for Pikachu myself. Get a little Pika!
Actually, I mean, I'm a cabbage, so I don't know. Maybe it should be like another vegetable one. Maybe I should be the Bellsprout.
Maybe. But enough about that. Back to our teams, MDYW. We were looking at some of the contests that are possibly going to be happening on Stormpoint, and that one in particular caught our eye because earlier today they were kind of contested against Leave No Witness, and that was where things got challenging because they actually went to split the POI at Thunderwatch and Stormcatcher, but this time there's two other teams in the mix of that POI.
Exactly. You know, these guys are used to coming from Apex South, where they do get both Thunderwatch and Stormcatcher. You know, no real problems there. But yeah, when someone else is going for the other ones, fine. They split it. This time, you know, are they going to get contested at one or the other? Are they going to try and go somewhere else on the map? You know, perhaps into Jurassic Bean. There are some options if they wanted to take a lesser POI in that sort of scenario. But it's really interesting because, you know, CR off drop. Fascination Color Destroyer have been playing fantastically.
Yes.
That said, just, you know, theory crafting even a step further here. If they had to contest against, say, FCD, would they have to change up their playstyle? You don't want to take a contest with Newcastle Watson.
No, you really don't, because that Watson's just going to start fencing up the entire place. But meanwhile, we continue on that. We've got the kill leaderboard so far for the Split 2 playoffs. I called effect the Grim Reaper, and you can see why. 53 eliminations so far. He is just looking for his next victim, but Sweet had a lot of pop-off moments. And did you see the sign that Nikki's holding up out there? She's like, it's my 4-year anniversary, and he's playing Apex. I mean, hey.
Not getting in the middle of that, Tiff.
I don't blame you, honestly. He's just breaking out the Sheila, and I think it was like just ending that fight. Guild and so did a lot of the work there. But look at the Wraith plushie!
He was also having a look at that kill leaderboard there. You know, something I was bringing up during the split actually was, you know, the concept of 20 bombs in Apex, right? Like a single player getting 20 kills throughout a series. Apparently it's happened 3 times so far.
Wow.
With Hal, Effect, and Sweet at the end there pulling that through.
Wow, that is absolutely impressive. Was it Hal yesterday right before his interview when he said he was here to crush dreams? Because that would make a lot of sense. We were talking about the Wraith plushie. There's the Fire Beavers mascot right there. Maybe that will bring them some good luck. But let's keep talking POIs because we were discussing MDY White and where they would potentially be going. There are a couple locations that are free, but obviously they won't be nearly as good as Stormcatcher or Thunderwatch. You can see Jurassic. Also Bean over just south of the mill is available as well. But look at Complexity and Fire Beavers in Cenote Caves.
Yeah, that's another one we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for. Beavers, that's a pretty tough one for Complexity to go up against. We keep talking about Complexity being one of the teams that needs a good game here. Sitting on 59 points at the moment. They would probably have to crush Fire Beavers like all 3 games in a row to give themselves a really good chance of getting on there. I mean, Dreamfire get milled to themselves. That's a pretty good pickup. Potentially one over at checkpoint. Interesting to see if who I still think are probably the luckiest team in terms of POIs in this entire competition. The fact that they get siphoned and some of the other things they've been able to pull off, but
oh, and the Vex crew is here. They've got the face paint on the headbands. Are you guys feeling vexed up there? Oh, they're ready. They want to see Matafe, Tyler, and Unlucky pop off here because, you know, thinking back to Split 1 playoffs, they did not make the finals lobby, and it all starts here in groups and trying to seed yourself appropriately, and they only have 49 points right now, 2 points more than Fire Beavers who are in this lobby, and I feel this is the moment for these teams that really need to secure a mass amount.
Yeah, and look, if we're trusting Dan, which I don't know if we should, but
I mean, Dan is really good with numbers. I like that.
Okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. 94 then, we'll take that just as a, you know, a number to work with for the moment.
Yes.
That means we're going to need 46 points or something like that, for 45 points for Vex there if they want to get over the top. And
yes.
They've got so many fans here. They obviously want to be seeing that team play throughout the weekend, as many games tomorrow, and then hopefully on to Sunday when it all comes down to it and these teams actually get to start putting that
And I look at this, right? And you look to the 20th place, that's going to be Fnatic with 78 points, tied with Onyx at 78, and they basically have already played all their games. So Onyx did pretty much know that they're going to be in that elimination bracket for all the teams that are just sitting underneath that threshold in points that are playing here in the lobby. So it's a matter of who is going to perform here and how many players that are currently situated in that winner's bracket that will get knocked down.
Yeah, and then moving further up, you've got teams like Riddle Order, Go Next, Realize, you know, high 80s, low 90s. These guys are basically hoping for the, you know, mathematically impossible outcome where the teams don't overtake them, and a lot of the either higher or lower place teams steal the points away. But it does seem like they probably will get overtaken. It's someone like KCP and Moist actually who are going to be probably out there in the crowd somewhere, just you know with you know, just really holding on tight to that spot and hoping they get just across the line.
You know, when we were talking to them, Walty told us not to talk about them, so we can't even. I don't even want to talk about it. We don't. Shh. No caster curses allowed. Okay, but it makes sense. Apex South. We can stand backwards and talk about them. Does that help? I'm sorry.
Evil eyes right now.
Look, it's an Apex South thing for you. I mean, right, mate?
Yeah.
There's the Apex South support. That is what I'm interested in. And they certainly have shown up in the crowd so far. And they've given them some really great moments to go off, honestly. I mean, MDY White, the team that coming into this, I genuinely had the least expectations for out of those 5 teams that did qualify. And yet, you know, they have been doing pretty damn well. 60 points at the moment. You know, not the most out of any of those teams after 2 games, but it's a solid effort.
Solid effort indeed, but they started out with 18 points on their first matchup, 42, so they're already on a skyward trajectory. Thank you so much for holding on. We had a player step away, but they are back, and let's check out the map rotation. Kicking things off, the first 3 matches will be on Storm Point, and then moving on over to World's Edge. Let's chat on this, the Digi threat. Oh my god, Gino, times are changing. Talk to me, crafting.
Exactly, so we've got Digi threat, and the purple energy extended mag has now come into the crafting rotation. This does change things. One of the most impactful crafting rotations that we do see in pro level Apex. Thus far in the tournament, Bangalore's been sitting at about a 50% pick rate. Pretty damn high, right? So, you know, it's a big deal, and having the Digi threat in there, it means the teams who are crafting, it means that edge teams who might be thinking about going for those Bangalore compositions are probably more likely to do so because they're going to have access to those guaranteed digital threats.
All right, well, Bangalore's get ready because Digi threads and mags in the crafter. What more could you ask for? You've even got the bag and the helmet, which you should definitely be crafting with as many people that have been sniping. But as our teams get ready to cross over, they're locked and loaded in the dropship. I heard a couple TSMs out there. That's right, they're in this lobby, and we were always talking about kind of their new responsibilities and like reps now being the refrag potential for the team, and Evan moving to anchor on the Catalyst. And I really appreciate it because sometimes I drop into his stream and I watch, and he's consistently grinding on the Catalyst, solo queuing, playing ranked, just trying to get better.
It's a bit of a shake-up for that team, and looks like we're even getting a shake-up as the teams drop in. Ascend do get checkpoint to themselves. Ath look to be contesting Dreamfire at Mill, in addition to some other ones that might be happening around. MDY White, where did they end up going? They've actually gone mid-map. It's barely even a drop spot anymore, but they have changed it up, letting FC Destroy take Thunderwatch. Those Stormcatcher, there's no one there. They've miscalculated.
MDY White, though, they can loot through Jurassic and kind of rotate on through Stormcatcher to hit the beacon information. But Dreamfire contesting Mill, we saw just how this played out in several other groups, but they're going in right now. They're grabbing all the loot, but Dreamfire in one building. There is a Trident over there. They may decide to get out of dodge.
As a quick update to the other one, we saw Complexity actually taking Bean or taking the Trident away from Cenote on the northern side and then going into the Armory. As Dreamfire, as you said, also rotating via car. So Ath actually going to get most of the loot over in Mill. A bit of a wild situation there, and does look like MDY White might be getting the information that Stormcatcher is unoccupied. Don't know if that was planned or not. You know, if they obviously would go there afterwards and then, you know, maybe work out that they can just drop there for free next game. Either way, lots of changes already.
Lots of changes indeed. And Dreamfire, they take the Trident straight into the IMC Armory at Bean, where Complexity is currently in. They're like, no, bro, we got to keep going. It was a little bit of a drive-by, and our rotation has continued. We're looking like we're playing a little hot pursuit here.
Does allow them to get into the circle, of course. They wouldn't have got any beacon knowledge having rotated straight away, so they're going to have to take a wild guess and potentially even run into Crazy Raccoon, who are currently in Jurassic.
Crazy Raccoon, they need to have a pop-off moment by a massive numbers here if they want to find themselves in the winner's bracket tomorrow. But in the meantime, I look at where that zone could be potentially going, because we had a lot of that mid-map, right? Cascade, they had a ring console available to them, and immediately once Xset hit that and got that information, they started rotating.
This is
I have no bats, by the way.
ああ、声聞こえるね。
ワンチャンオプティックの進行怖いから逃げてきました。抜けるよ俺。
Stay there. So tempo of this game could be a little different to something else we've experienced so far.
Earlier we had 18 teams in Barometer, and right now,
yeah, ring 4.
Yeah, it was wild. As for a position on the map that I was like, no way, but Monsoon, look at him go. PK shots going out. Luda already able to grab one, knock, but the trade comes back in. 2 plays are left alive on each team. Monsoon stepping away to heal, but Cody kind of repositioning, just trying to get inside that door. This is really tough. You have to retreat. They've left Luda outside, and here comes the Seer scan.
Oh man, you can see the orders getting barked out of that mouth, coming, you know, at a rate of knots here. But Fire Beavers coming in, and they don't think they're going to be denied here. Taskmaster does go down though. 9 Impulse. There we go. I think that was all. Complexity, no, there's still.
Here we go, it's still going. 9 Imps locking in and focusing. Oidrain not able to get Taskmaster back up, but just like that, Complexity is down and out. But this is going to give ATH the moment in time that they need to position a third party there. But Taskmaster likely to get reset. Fire Beavers are one of the quickest rezzing teams. They prioritize that immediately.
TSM also in some trouble here.
お、どうした？
No, my banner's too far. He can't get it. Play it twice. I don't have a back. Peeking this, I'm peeking back. Shoot him. He's gonna swing my thing. They're pushing you. I gotta heal, bro. I gotta heal. I'm going for a swap, Okay. I got a white swap. I'm popping a med kit. Playing slow with you. It's about to drop. He's probably right down the hill. Let's get the full. He's right down the hill hallway. Trying to look for him. I don't know where he's at. I'm going towards the banner. It's in the staircase. Can we got it? Maybe you might be able to get that. You might be able to get it. No cap. You might be able to get it. The staircase is open, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you just gotta scan for me. I'm coming, bro. Do you even have a Moby though? No. Probably not. They might have one on the box. I'm coming for you.
Plenty of times. I was watching some old school ALGS, and it's just been so exciting to see the journey of them, and bringing in Verholst, most recent, the newest member of this team. It feels weird to say newest because they've been together for so long at this point in time, and just watching the growth.
I think it's genuinely one of the best pickups of all time, like roster moves, honestly. Yeah. I mean, you know, he was doing well on, was it ESA at that time, I think, before they, you know, got him, but, you know, went from essentially being like a rising star to possibly the best controller player in the world. Oh, no. Actually, after how Effect's been doing this weekend, I don't know if I can say that. Maybe the most clutch.
I mean, I'm never going to count out Biggie, let me tell you. You cannot count him out, but watching him be adaptable to changing roles, I've been really impressed. And talking about changing roles, Strafing Flame here.
알고는 이렇게 탈 수가 있네. 까지 가면 탈 수 있긴 한데.
저 위에서 탈 수 있긴 해. 저 위에 먹을래? 이거?
근데 얘네 이거 이 새끼 있어가지고.
저 하나.
일단 하나만 듣긴 했어.
뒤 끊고 얘네
이 새끼가
얘네 뒤 끊고 올라고 하는 거거든. 내가 보는데 얘네랑 싸워야 될 것 같긴 한데.
쟤네 잡으면은 개 좋긴 해.
지금 급습하는 거 어때 이거? 들어 넣지 말고. 지금 혼자잖아.
근데 이미 올라가 있을 것 같은데. 얘네 지금 링 다쳤잖아. 드론으로 봤다. 드론으로 봤다.
드론으로
봤다. 왓슨 걔네네. 우전에서 걔네네. 천천히 하자.
드론 부셔봐. 나 드론 뭐?
오케이.
드론 26. 나 방갈인 거 봤어?
오케이, 나 뒤에 한번 체크.
드론 올라왔어?
아, 아래네. 이거.
완전 아래네.
Enemy spotted near me.
나 여기 고정할게. 얘네 떨.
But as you say, some teams seem to be proving that.
Ascend on the left side of your screen, coming through the choke point. They did land at checkpoint, and that was quite interesting, right? Because that's a good position for them, but that's completely different. Throughout the regular season, we saw a lot of barometer action, even some contests going down, and they have had to adapt to so many different new landmarks and practice their rotations through it. I know Dio is really hyping up Kashera as one of the best IGLs, and they've put in so much work to even change a lot of their legend compositions, right? Dabbling on Newcastle, but when I see him on Crypto, I'm just like, this is something different.
I think it's something he's so comfortable on, right? But when they can make up these, go for these different compositions, ramp up, Loba, Horizon. Okay, something awesome.
That is
here.
way new for me. That is way new for me. I don't think I've seen Kashera play Rampart in particular. I knew he was dabbling. That just goes to show you that in group stages, throughout bracket stages, you have to be ready for anything. And it pays off when you get to finals, when you hit match point.
And it's not like this is some, we're having fun pick, right? Ascender at 83, they need points in this series to make sure they get through to the winner's bracket.
Ooh, but you know who doesn't really need points right now? It's Ox.
ドローンで普通に見つけるわ。
When you hear some of these players' comms, they can get really hectic and a little bit misplaced, and you're just like, I don't know. The ability for them to remain calm, and you even heard an interview with Psycho earlier. They had him down on the floor, and oh, not a trident rotation! Bro, you see Vayne just know that he's gonna light this up. We've seen a lot of trident rotations go south incredibly quickly, but I think at this point they were just gonna do some friendly damage and then say bye.
That was a pretty quick 150 pulled out there with the Floody. Alright, Oxygen playing in this central location. Most teams are more northerly of this position, though. Sticking around Stormcatcher at this point.
Interesting.
Not having as many of those early scuffles as we would have thought. Maybe it'll be on the closing of Zone 2 that we get that. But, Blackhand just down crafting a launch pad. Firebeavers have finally made it into the ring for yet another go at the crafts. And then we've got Fnatic and Crazy Raccoon up at Command Center, which, could come to something soon.
Ooh, but we're on here with Optic, and let me just tell you something. Skittlecakes is an impressive caustic, but every time he brings out the Horizon, it is time to play. I was talking about this earlier. I've seen impressive movement with the utility on her.
오케이.
이거. 한팀 더 온다.
Let's transfer to that spot.
위에서 발공 타서 이쪽 있지. 내가 지금
Here yet in Split 2 playoffs. They push a fight, they start taking a couple shots, and they immediately back off. And Genome, that's where I start to worry about their performance.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're way down in, I think it's 38th spot at the moment, Tip, so they've got so much work to do. They would genuinely have to have an absolute banger of a series, and that's not a good start to the fight. Dropped is locked behind this tree.
Oh no, dropped is gonna get dropped. Knocked in Skittlecakes, last standing here for this. Fire Beavers, they know exactly what they want to do. They are that hard edge playstyle, which has been sticking a thorn in a lot of teams' side there. That Arc Star didn't go where he wanted to do, but good piercing spikes to try and deny that push, but it's already been destroyed now, forced to reload. The Prowler is so impressive that if you can just hit 3 bursts every bullet, it can take down a red shield, and early on, this is where it's going to be the most beneficial, but they're not going to be able to get dropped back up yet.
Yeah, I mean, look, a couple of cracks might perhaps buy them time to get away, but Noct, why are you still trying to re-engage? Does he have the option to actually exit out here? Perhaps another third party could save them. Oxygen, I think they're going to stick in the house. They're probably the closest team to this.
Oh, there goes the full on. Dropped 5 eliminations for Fire Beavers. Now, we were talking about them a little bit earlier and how they really needed a strong performance. 47 points thus far throughout these group stages. A 28-point series and a 19-point series. And that leaves a lot of room for improvement. If we're going to start out Storm Point like this, maybe that's exactly what they need.
Somehow, they have gotten away with it. I don't know for how long, though. It does look like Fire Beavers are still on the hunt. They've got the scent and they're closing in now. CRQ means that they're going to be locked out of abilities as well as slowed and just sat in this corner here for Fire Beavers to take the rest of the kills.
Optic Gaming, they got away, got one member back up, but the Fire Beavers, they wanted more. Now 8 points just from this so far. 15 squads remaining, and Oirein is going to be your kill leader. That is everything, and only with less than 500 damage. I've seen people north of 1,000 without able to grab that initial KP. They have come to fight. They've already hit the crafter. They've gotten their digi, and let's check in with MDY White as they are navigating the southern point. They've got this tunnel, and sometimes zones tend to end in this vicinity, and you can see they have the ring information.
Yeah, that's the thing that's really surprising me. I mean, without crypto in this day and age, getting a 4th ring? That is incredibly rare here, so this is a huge advantage for MDY White. Can they actually use that, in the correct way to really set up? They've got the catalyst. Let's see if they can.
Ooh.
これなんかすごいいいと思う。俺君見るわ。こっちバンカースモーク。こっち側の部隊が大体切れてるからそれが来ると思う。これカタリスト。メルトスターの方一人ね。で俺止める海ちゃんで赤くね。オッケー。武器的に変えたいとかあったら言って。取り手だから俺適正。
いけるぞこれ。
これ真下で渡る。俺はダウン回収の9。死んだ。大丈夫。こっちエバック出た。このエバックマジで注意。飛んでくんの注意だよ。俺今セル巻いてる。大丈夫だよ。広めに立ちたいかも。絶対これ潰そう来たら。これ戦いに来ると思う。やるしかないよこれ。来ないな。24。来てない？下。大丈夫だよ。こっち側。
ある。
これ真下殺せるわ。オッケー。まだ俺家の方見とく。どっか来てる。周り見てしっかり。俺こっち見てるよ。大丈夫だよ。家の方切れそう。左から俺こっち見たら分かんないけど、大丈夫だと思う。
これカットできたら美味しい。
家の方多分切れた。曲がると。真下から。これ入手しはバンガー。これ乗せだと思うこっち側。家の方切れたよ。まだ来てない。大丈夫。ピークしまくったら大丈夫。ジップの音してるよ。大丈夫来てない。ナイスキル。死んだ。真下 DF 死んだ。俺ら上入ってるよ。オッケー。上がらせたくないよ。これは9だ。俺聞いて。このジップの舞台は
強えなここ。
でも多分2枚だった。俺らの真下で今遊んでる。こっちこそせなければね。結構切れると思う。了解。ピンだけ。海田。はい。ピンでさ、これ下ピークしといてくんない？オッケー。いやきつかったらマジで火ですぐ。ホラキューとか来たら。バルだからそこに乗ってる感じで。了解。切っちゃわないよ俺。
丁寧だな。
この間の舞台起きたの。起こしたね。
VC が。
こいつに当たらせないようにするか俺。これの着地ボコりないかも。俺ずっとこっち見てるよ。で打てそうだからちょっと打つは多分来ないしまだ。真上。降りてきたよ。見えなかったんだけど降りたの。69。肉70。右角。めっちゃあと肉。閉じられたもう。周り注意。これでみんなもうあと激闘でやろう。はい。入手しやがねずっと左下なんだ。こいつら次アンチャー出てるから左にあったらね。了解。
As this engagement goes, you know that 9 Impulse is going to want to keep dabbling in this fight. It looks like we have a lone member standing of Vex Gaming trying to play for play.
우리 자리에서 공 쓸 수 있어 메시? 네 열분데. 야 얘는 올 수도? 야 이거 방갈공으로 그냥 프리스타일 해야 돼.
우와, きつそうだね。
오케이. 온다 이거 올 것 같아.
근데 10초밖에 없어.
今からバルラン上とのどこ行く？ いやーどこ空いてんだろう。
왼쪽 보자. 왼쪽 아래 여기 한번 체크. 어때? 왼쪽 아래 왼쪽 아래. 여기 괜찮아. 왼쪽 아래 빨리. 일로 와봐 일로 와봐. 여기.
いやーいるわな。
빨리 천천히 올라가자. 여기 천천히 방금 앞에 쓰자. 방금 쓰자.
왼쪽 빌래 왼쪽.
上とファイトか。
방금 써봐. 방금 아나 키봤어. 천천히.
오케이 천천히.
천천히. 나 5초 뒤 가는. 야 오른쪽으로 스윙. 준비됐어? 연막 오른쪽 가요. 스윙.
頑張れ頑張れ。うわここ入ってるか。いやダメだこれ食らいすぎてる。
マジで怖い。やべ滑りそう。上の段で入ってるよね。
ここ船を抑えてるのが強すぎる。
バルールとしてもよくね俺ら次。でバルールとしてさこれもちゃめちゃ15位残って上と入ってもいいよ。で次降りるみたいな。なるほどね。これ階段突っ込みたい顔してる。撃たなくていいよそれ階段突っ込みたかったら。まだマシ入れる。マシャの舞台何もしなくていいよ。了解。相手できるんだったらしたいけど結局来るからさ一回バルールとで俺らごちゃった方がいいかも。そうだね。さあ奥側にワンチャン飛ぶのもあり。どっかファイトするなら。左側ファイトしてんだよね今ドバンが来るときって。飛ぶならここだな多分。俺のとこ。俺のとこ。
Have the Craver, but will it be enough?
トラブレックスやばい。
あいい。
サクさんで。いやー
これさ重されじゃん。
どう上がるここから。
ワインのフルとゴミでしてそうに。
リスポーンしたかったね。
縦回収してから行くわ。ちょっと左下押さえね。左下奥行ってね。
やべ船もやばい。よしよしいけるナイスナイス。いけるいやー PC がいいね本当に。今は入れそうだね。パールブレックスが厳しそうだな。F ちゃんがやべえ。F ちゃん落ちた。来たねパールブのとこに。これもうワンチャン強いフナティック。これずっと見よう。7キル8キル。いける。
前で気をつけてね。アンチマジで言ってるから俺ら。
いいよ。めっちゃ強い。勝てるこれ。
頭1入ってるからそこ入ってない。ごめんわかんない。海田も前出てあさり長すぎお前。ヘビアも入ってるよ。あるとこ1枚あったら俺たまる。見て頭1押さえよう一緒に。オッケー。俺グレーに変わる。マジ勝てる。絶対勝てる。
いいね勝てるぞ。
マジで勝てるぞ。俺あと 30%。お前の方が強いよな多分これ。でリベルミスパー強いんじゃねこの1。いやこれ天井ある。まあ俺上がって結局。マジ気をつけて。グなんかどっか。
いやいい。
じゃあまた俺ら強いかこれ。
どうやってくんだこれ。いやもうキル取られる前に死ぬかもな。
バッテリー持ち。オッケー2本。やり合ったら逆に行くぐらいの気持ちいいよ。絶対これ。これ今倒してた。俺のままでもらって
いやこれ取れるぞ。いける。これは勝った。さすがな。よし。アドリチーブが起きてノーセットか。 イスー。素晴らしい。ブッシュクレスピー。ナイス。
For taking map 1. Can we get some hype here in the Copper Box Arena?
さすがだね。
13 kills for Fnatic in that first game, and I'm not gonna lie, Tiff, you know, the players, they'll get up and go to the bathroom in between the games, and I think when Fnatic do that this time, they should probably roll past the 100 Thieves booth and just give them a quick handshake on the way and say, yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for catwalling our only real opponents into a corner, and then Horizon ulting them so that they really had nothing that they could do, and we just roll up and destroy them.
We knew that was exactly what was going to happen as soon as NTH and 100 Thieves started engaging. What we didn't know was that Scurry was going to be a little ratty himself. You mentioned that little ledge that he's playing on, and you think back to some of the comms that we've here, I feel like that's a give me a duck moment.
And even the other one we had on Thermal Station, where it was Onmu, right, who was again playing this absolute spoiler role. I mean, I don't know if 100 Thieves have actually taken out a game so far in this LAN, but if they haven't, they've certainly been deciding some.
It's so interesting, and time again, the storyline, you know, after APAC North lost that 10th qualifying position for playoffs, they are throwing it all on the line and showing us why, honestly, they're fighting for another one.
It seems like they're kind of mad about that.
I mean, maybe they came back with vengeance.
It's been an awesome tournament from our friends over in APAC North, and yeah, look, that's a solid win there from Fnatic. I mean, they had so much to deal with down the bottom. I'm wondering how many points Fire Beavers got in that game. Obviously, there was quite a few kills coming their way. We'll find that out in a bit, I'm sure, because I'm just trying to calculate, you know, was it worth it? Was it worth it to just chase down team after team when they could have said, all right, we killed Exit, let's stop, let's just chill out for half a second and maybe respect this position that we're in and grab the kills at the end. We don't have to grab them right now. We could just, you know, keep teams at bay for a little bit, grab some placement points, and then grab the kills at the end.
That's great, but I think it's more funner to kind of just chase everything down. If I'm the Fire Beavers right now, they have nothing to lose, right? They came in 36th place. If they're not taking home all those eliminations, then what does it even matter? If they're going to be starting in that elimination breakup, why not just full send?
I can kind of get behind that mentality if it was, say, like Game 4, Game 5, and they knew they needed to have 2 or 3 big games. But in this last series, I personally would have played maybe just a little bit more conservative and said, hey, let's just get a solid 10 points at least on the board, and then, you know, just work the kills from there. Look, as a great man from Apex South once said, the kills will come. If we play well, the kills will come.
As a wise person once said, it's one animal, one element, and that's Fire Beavers, and they're not going to stop until they've taken everyone back to the lobby. So aggression is their nature, but we're going to go ahead and pull back to that final circle. You're going to see here Fnatic immediately decimating TSM. That's how quickly they were able to just show up and eliminate the duo.
I mean, nuts the TSM lasted that long as a duo, though, honestly.
That is true, that is
like,
true.
A massive shout out to Reps and Furhals for pulling that one off.
That was tough. They were able to find some good success. They did have a Kraber, and I kept seeing them pop up in the feed, getting downs on Pulverex and kind of taking down the last members of standing teams. So they probably ended this with a couple of KP, but Fnatic, you see Yuka here break out on the Crypto. Wants to survey the damage that's going on. Now that they know they've got him on scan, they can just pop over and just end this.
Bang ult forces them back for a little bit, or was that Meltsteris? Not exactly sure. Either way, this is where they popped around and were like, oh, they're all just kind of sitting there in the corner for us. That's nice, thanks.
But Taida's reaction here with the wall is the reactionary thing that this is all they have to do. They're already stuck in a corner and just tries to res, but this is the power of, you know, maybe if we would have had a gold knockdown, it would have stalled it out just a little bit more, but I think it would have still met the same ending.
So, getting a look at the stats from our winning team here, you can see Yuka in see why Wigan Greek were asking if he is indeed the best player in the world. 1800 damage for him, 5 kills as well, and the new pickup, Umi-chan there on 5.
I mean, that's really impressive. So the thing is, Umi-chan typically has the most elimination alongside Meltstera, and Umi-chan kind of comes in and cleans it up and helps them reset if necessary. When Yuka goes to pop a shield bat, this is when Umi-chan comes in for the cover.
It's a positive way to put it. If I do that, my teammates always just call me a kill stealer.
That is true. I usually show up and put like, you know, 1 bullet in them, and I'm just like, haha, cheers.
All right, here's the overall points for that game 1 here. You can see with the 13 kills, Fnatic are going to pick up 25 points. Before this, they were sitting on 78. That, I would say, one good game here has locked Fnatic in for the winners bracket. Going down there, we've got North Eption, who of course were on 50 points and definitely looking to pick up some swag. They've done pretty well there with a 15, but still not out of the woods just yet. There's the answer to the question I was asking before. Fire Beavers finish up in 7, but they take 4 teams with them. 12 kills and 15 points is a solid start to their push.
So you asked, was it worth it? So was it worth it, Gino?
12 kills is a lot of kills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was worth it to me. I'm telling you, look, they came in with 47 points, so just starting off with a 15-point game is everything they need. But the bottom half of the lobby, we had so many teams soaking up a lot of those eliminations, so it makes it rather tough for teams that are going to be fighting to get in the winner's bracket, not able to get anything. XSET only taking home 4 points, and that's the most of anyone on this page.
Yeah, not a lot of going the way of the bottom team. And you know, that probably shouldn't surprise us because as we just saw from Fire Beavers, everyone who is chasing points to get into that, you know, that winner's bracket is kind of on a race against time as well. They know there's only so many games left for them to eke out those points and make it a bit further. So, you know, they're not going to be playing as conservatively necessarily.
Yeah, we saw a lot more bangs in the lobby this time around and a lot more aggressive fighting. And for the teams that play Edge, it's starting to pay off. Maybe it's just the groups that are in this lobby or maybe not. But you got to think back to this, right? Had TSM rotated so quickly from the wall, maybe if they hadn't lost out on Hal on rotation, could have been a different story for them. But when you think about a different story, it doesn't really matter at this point. They've already locked in winner's bracket. Now it's kind of just trying to learn more about the teams that they're facing up against on land.
Yeah, TSM looking fine at this point, and I mean, just because of the reputation almost, it feels like that they have. They also don't have to, you know, play DZ's game and have to start, you know, trying to grief other teams that are worrying about their POIs. Siphon's pretty much locked up. The wall is pretty much locked up. The, you know, TSM gets what they want. I don't know how much plot armor is involved here, but it always seems to happen.
Well, I mean, it's not like they don't have international scrims for a month leading up to this, and they did a really solid job of trying to defend their POIs, the wall, and Lava Siphon. And there was a team that was looking to try and take Siphon from them actually in this lobby, and just a week prior to LAN, they decided, no, we're actually not going to drop Lava Siphon. Not naming names, but it's definitely not Vexed or anything.
Oof. All right, match 2. Looks like it's going to be getting underway very shortly. Teams dropping out. Bit of a different ship this time. We're going south to north.
You know, I say that about the wall, and we talk about TSM, and who has the hot zone? Who has crafting? You said TSM plot armor, and at this point, do they even need it? They're already guaranteed winners bracket. They're just here to have fun.
Yeah, ring console on top of that, you know, why not? While you're at it.
Give them all the goods, but check out Fire Beavers taking Cenote Cave once again. Complexity landing in the IMC Armory. If you got a couple players, they're sending 2 players to secure the Trident and 1 to start the IMC Armory. I like that, but what's more better?
Straight up, we've got the contest again. It is ATH here versus Dreamfire. You want those southern bins, and as they pick them up, you can see why Blue Armor and Nemesis comes out already, taking down 2 of the Dreamfire members. This is a nightmare start.
Trinity's opens 1 supply bin, grabs a blue Evo and a Nemesis with ammo, immediately hits that seer scan. They have nowhere to go, side swings it out. That was so textbook, but that's everything that you want in a contest. Typically, with a lot of the contests that we've seen earlier, squads are like, oh, I've got a P2020, what do you have?
Last time they rolled out with a trident, this time Roy rolls out with his life, and that's just about all he can ask for. Around the map, you've got MDY White. Yes, they're landing at Stormcatcher. That does seem to lend some plausibility to the story that they weren't exactly sure where everyone was landing in the first game. And it was, you know, maybe not like a mistake, but certainly a misread of the situation to take their time to get there. That said, this time they land on top of it with a beacon and the ring in their backyard.
Oh, wow, check that out. MDY White, they do not go Jurassic, or if they do, they rotated immediately over to Stormcatcher and peep those zones. It's absolutely ridiculous that we just keep getting some of the same repeat zones, so very similar to what we withstood the first time.
FC Destroy are trying to beat them to the best spot in this circle. As you can see, it is very much touching on that eastern side, so the teams are going to predict that it is pulling all the way out there, assuming they do have the ring. Console and MDY White, are they actually going to meet FC Destroy this early?
That would be a really interesting fight to go ahead and hit the head on the nail just now. And you can see FC Destroy taking that high ground, peppering down MDY White, and now they almost are retreating a little bit, trying to get behind the rocks, because FC Destroy, 2 purples, a blue shield, looking pretty kitted. That's not a good challenge. I know a lot of teams, what they like to do is just kind of armor check in a sense. You hit a couple shots, you know, hey, I'm sitting on 2 perps, I feel more confident.
I mean, is this just gone from the luckiest pull possibly for MDY White to like the absolute worst scenario? Because Blackhand pull up on the south of them, blocking their rotation away from FC Destroy to try and reset. This could be horrible for the Apex South team.
Oh, wow, you can see on the top, match 2 pick rate, 70% Bangalore.
Wow.
A lot of teams making those useful changes, but MDY White still on trying to retreat 5 shield cells, and they don't even have time to heal, but so thankful for the teammate to drop a bat, and that will be so much easier to get a nice reset. But will they be enough?
Well, that means Digi's changed things up a lot, or maybe it's just this lucky. We'll talk about that after.
You are so unlucky. Matape gonna fall. Can Tyler FBS clutch this up? We know he's a young roller phenom coming in with the Mastiff, trying to take one from Tyda's books here, but he cannot connect around the knockdown shield. It's a dance that you don't want to be a part of. Come on, just a couple more bullets, but just shy on. But he's right off the bat. 100 Thieves, they're making an appearance.
Easy Flash just books it there. Blackhand were involved as well, and it does look like we're getting a bit of a messy fight here. MDY White, I think they've managed to save themselves just a little bit as we see Pulverex lying in the smoke in wait.
That was interesting. We saw Easy Flash run out. They are going to be eliminated as Pulverex come up. They want to join the fight. Bang ult incoming. F-Chan smoking around the perimeter and continuing to rotate around. You know they were talking about their playstyle, trying to get into zone.
Tango spotted. Danger close.
でこの上とかにもう1個あったら多分これのとこがめっちゃ高くなるわ。これさ、ちゃんとここにといてください。あ、左下3人でこうやってするかも。ワンチャンファイトしたいんだけど。そこある？ある。
Saw someone out there. Let's check out this area.
ちょっとこれここら辺に怖いな。後ろ打つか。I honestly They're just like running through the building and playing on the, you know, the backside.
The rocks, it's just tough, right? When you've got a lot of aggressive teams. Similarly, 100 Thieves, they've been playing so strong here, and they can essentially just walk up on this, smoke them out, piercing spike it, and if the moment comes to it, all they have to do is catwall and push.
Onmu looking fierce with the headband there, and honestly, 100 Thieves have looked fierce this entire tournament. It's been really a breakout, I feel, for these guys. They have, yeah, I'd say they're probably just about qualified already, sitting on 99 points. I think unless things go a little bit crazy here, they should be fine. So time for them to have some fun.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much locked in. I would feel really confident about that. I think Gaskin earlier said 94 points was that threshold for them on the desk. And, you know, being above that, you would need something spectacular from every team that was underneath them to really shift them down and out. But here we go. While Pulverex is chilling in that spot, we're going to go ahead and look at that map and where it's continuously going. You said this was the slowest rotating group we've seen thus far. North Eption, they're still chilling in their lightning rod. They are able to have that POI of theirs today. Optic Gaming have extended out into North Pad. They typically land down Beast. ATH, they haven't even left checkpoint, and Fire Beaver's finally making their way out of Cenote.
So as expected, the ring continues. Up as they would want to, because they had to worry about all the teams around them when that happened.
All right, 100 Thieves, they found themselves an Acorn and they're okay with it. And they've got Vaxlon kind of out and about scouting, and I like this, right? We're talking about scouting characters that have the ability to do it. Once you have that double time passive enact, they'll be able to shoot back to their teammate or smoke and run, but they haven't been able to pick up one elimination thus far, so not too bad. But as our teams make their way North Eption, we were talking about them still being in Lightning Rod. They're about to join the party, and Xset is going to be the first team that is looking to gatekeep them out. And if you play hard edge, you take the most ring damage, which lo and behold, North Eption is the team that has the most. They can run into this issue quite often.
Yep, not surprising at all from the APAC North lads. What is surprising has been you know, the fact that they're struggling coming into this series, but 15 points to start off with gives them just a glimmer of hope. I mean, they're used to glimmers. I wonder if these guys sleep at night and have like the ring tick damage just kind of like in their head the whole time. It's just this like constant presence because they play more in it than they do. They play more outside the ring than they do inside the ring.
At least when they come inside the ring, they've got fully leveled Evos, a beautiful amount of bats, and they are just ready to like full send at anyone is in their way. And FC Destroy, they've had a lot of pop-off moments here today, and I respect the positioning. The moment they got here and immediately used the Newcastle Wasson to build a fort.
They've been fantastic at finding these spots, right? At finding these awesome positions to play from, and as we saw, they actually got #1 priority. They could choose any spot they wanted in this area to fortify.
He died of a ring, somebody. I think that was a Horizon. Over there.
How it's going to go. Evac tower in hand, so they do have that available if they need any bit of pressure when trying to get into that next zone, but there are so many teams that have already set up shop in that next zone.
Optic, you can see they do have the information. Long rotates with the Catalyst. Obviously, they've got that character there, the controller character, to make sure that they know where it's going. Doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be playing in the ring, because of course that doesn't necessarily work with the strategy they want to be running. But other teams like Crazy Raccoon, Complexity, and who is that? Another esports team. Just having a look at the map, the brown one. Oxygen Esports, there we go, are down near Stormcatcher with them. So a couple of teams there that they have to think and worry about.
Ooh, Xset constantly putting the pressure on, utilizing seer scans. They've already burned through a seer exhibit. I don't believe any ult cells are available, because I'm sure it's the first thing that they can calm, because if you put out a defensive seer exhibit and try to force NTH to stay back where they are, now you've already burned that, because some teams will essentially bait your utility out.
seems to happen the most often with seer exhibits, doesn't it? Honestly,
You wanna burn those.
maybe that or the cat walls, but definitely they can be as defensive as they can be offensive. It's why the characters are picked. It's why they're in the meta. That versatility that that you have from the ults, as well as some of their passives and tactical abilities. So, Exit here. You can see they don't have the best of cover there, kind of having to dodge around as they trade some blows with other teams. Skynade comes in, does manage to dodge it.
All right, well, here's the deal. I want to see what's going to happen with Exit. They're surrounded by teams, so let's jump on board with a nice listen in.
They're in on that side. I have 4 cells right now. No, this team East is still here. It's fine, it's fine. I'm saying, hope.
A Bangalore. Probably playing on the outside.
You have arcs, right?
結構下んないとダメだなこれ。
出てきた俺のとこ。
左爪注意ね。
うん、左見といてほしい見た俺の方。オッケーオッケーオッケーオッケー。どっちも塞いでる。ちょっと俺今爪見えてない。降りてたらわかんないや。俺も目標見えてない。
詰められたらめっちゃ下って俺の位置見といてね。
うん、オッケーオッケーオッケー。
カバーじゃなくてね。
うん、分かってる分かってる。やべえ、セルが消える。俺も4人しかねえわ。偏ると切ってきたりしたらこっち後ろ下がろうね、別にすら。うん。
Let's check out that area.
これもうそっち側周りしか割り切ってないんだよなこのアンチ。下がっていいよ。下がっていいよ。俺の方がいいな。
あと俺シャールとまた。シャール見ました。カバーするカバーする。俺大丈夫俺大丈夫絶対大丈夫絶対大丈夫。最後でシャーも70。大丈夫だよ俺絶対大丈夫。見た下がってもいいよもう。見たもう下がってもいいよ。オッケー。
そっちからバルールする。ここは抑えられたらきつい。
抑え。
じゃね上
あり。だけど
抑えられたらきついよね。
めっちゃ新鮮そうそう。待って突っ込んできてるよ結構。同居いけるかも。目の前でバンカー来てるもう。めっちゃ打たれてるそいつら。ちょっと前展開するか。奥とベッジだよ多分。奥バンガルパス行ったもん今。手前いないそれ。手前のバンガルパス来てる。
下でファイトしようこれ。ポイントでいいよこれ。このチーム殺そう。上回りだけ一回切んないといけないんだよな。
ダメ。ここいるここ。
下下ったのかそれ。カタリストのやつら。ありゃバルートするか。
ありありあり。バルート今使えない。
いやいいよ。使えるでしょ。
飛べねえわこれ。こっちここ。オッケーオッケーオッケー。飛ぶよ。
仕事されることはねえと思う。あ奥でファイトしてるじゃん。でも家にもいた。家やれどうよ。
どこの家？あーいやランパがいる。下のボールで曲は？
ありあり。
あり。
右のやつら殺しに行かね？結局じゃない俺ら。それ左によくても。右のやつらじゃないこれ。これ。
ちょっと今登ってる今。いけるよ俺。バンガルで来てよ。
いける？前いいよ。
58。
危ないの？
いやー。これ来ないですけどさすがに
いやスモークは
I'm gonna play my corner. We should just triple look north.
Okay.
To be honest, like I think we just have to look at these guys here.
Alright. They're looking at us. I don't really know another angle except for stairs.
You play the second floor, no? You can play the second floor doorway.
Okay.
They're walking up a bit, I hear
them.
They are.
You
good?
Yep. He's gonna drop from the east. East side's peeking my staircase now.
없어. 그래야 여기까지 먹어도 돼. 오케이.
나 죽었다. 살려줘. 공격이지.
왼쪽에 때렸어. 때려줘 이거. 발공탈 준비하자.
오케이.
발공탈 준비하자.
이라고 돌아갈게.
얘들아 천천히. 우리 궁 채워야 돼. 어디 찾아봐. 나 오차만 있어. 발공탈 준비하자. 일로 와.
Again, a sus decision there. As you say, they really need the points. They can't be taking risks, I think, that are that large. They need to be playing together and getting caught out there. Bit of a tough.
モガの2人はこれまだ金玉いると思う。タワー飛んでる。それにリブートも使っていいと思う。タワーも建物が飛んでった。当てた。広いで。急げ。もう行かなくていい。いや待ってこれさ、あと2人か僕。だってバテマク。だったら取り切れないから。隙間気をつけて。オッケー。いやこれ倒していかねこれじゃあ。ゴー。Bからサイドで。また。分かってる。
いや
カット1個。来てる。ダメした。ラスト。ナイス。当てる。オッケー。ゆっくり巻いていいよ。
ナイス。
まだ俺もない。26である。前出て。俺金のから。俺金のから。あお。髪くりかよ。どうしよう。左上上がるかな。まあ頑張れや。左上とりあえず上がって方がいいと思う。
And Newcastle teams being able to play on roofs unlike some other teams, and this is the perfect spot for FC Destroy to be able to do that towards the right in front of them. You can see North Epshin, TSM have been lurking on the shadows further up the hill.
I'm looking straight south. We should all look south. Right?
In the open.
We have to look south. I'm looking south. Bottom floor here. I'm gonna bring. Playing across in the open.
I don't see any. They're in the building across from us.
Cue them maybe. Double red. We don't worry about nobody come over here.
I'm gonna look in front with Evan.
They're aping over there.
Fire 置いてある。動かなくていいこれ。動かなくていい。オッケー。
They don't waste their opportunity a second time. North Epshin with a clean wipe, and TSM again, like Raven, lurking in the shadows.
Well, look, here's the deal. As a wise man from Apex South once said, the kills will come, and North Epshin are going to be focusing on that complexity, a duo playing in the building originally that FC Destroy was in, but have moved in to live underneath TSM's building. So here's the deal. Basically, TSM and Complexity are going to be duking it out for second place. Lo and behold, North Epshin will be waiting for this engagement.
Waiting and wondering who will be the team they have to deal with.
Satsuki, Look at him overextending. He wants to get some angles on this. He wants, you said, all the kills, right? He's just going to go over there, take some pop shots, maybe he can find a down.
They kind of need them. I mean, they're in 3rd place already, so they've secured 7 placement points, but there's still 5 left on the table. 5 points can easily be the difference between them making winners or losers.
I really like what they're doing. They're split, calling in Mobies for space, but just like that, Complexity taken out. So now a pure 3v3 TSM versus North Eption.
And that's exactly what TSM needed, a very clean fight win here so that they don't get caught off guard by North Eption.
Oh, beautiful third right there. Do some instant damage. The CEO himself out of the ground once before the trade comes in. Now Rex looking to do some damage with 1 inch of dreams. Now can Big E, that anchor position on the Catalyst, take down North Eption? We would need a 1v3.
Seems like it's a lot to ask for Big E and North Eption. 15 points in the first game, a win in the second. They are storming home here in our final series of group stage.
That is exactly what we needed for them. I know when I spoke to Taida, he said that he needed to get into that bracket stage, but first, he wants to also make sure the finals are on the mind. They always say, I want to win everything, but first, we just have to get there.
よし、今日はここまででお疲れ様でした。